Hi, everybody. This is Ashley Olson from wheelchairtraveling.com, and I'm here with my buddy Chad from Able Outdoors. Chad, how are you doing here today?
Hi, Ashley. Doing great.
Hi. I had to interview him. He is an outdoor enthusiast, hunter, just all around nature lover, and wanted to talk to him about his life, about hunting, um, and everything outdoors. So, Chad, please, first of all, tell me what initially sparked your passion for the outdoors, and how did you adapt your love for hunting after becoming a quadriplegic?
Okay, well, for me, it started early because I was lucky enough to grow up kinda in the country. My I spent a lot of time on my grandparents' farm with I started with a BB gun, pellet gun, chasing rabbits and squirrels and birds and learning how to
How old were
hunt.
you?
Oh God, probably 6, 7, 8. And then you graduate to shotgun and 22 rifle, which to me, I think all my friends did the same thing. So that was the normal. So when we got to go on our first real hunts, like when we were 12, 13, I knew it was something that I was going to do forever, hopefully.
And
So
when did you get injured? When did you become have a spinal cord injury?
I got hurt at 17, diving into a pool. I'm a C7 quad. So, well, when that happened, it was hunting and was my one thing that I was like, you know what, I have to do this. If I can't do this, life isn't going to be worth living for me. I still would have stuck it out, but it wouldn't have been any good. So I
Yeah.
mean, that was my main goal, and just getting out and trying to figure that out. So
How did you adapt then like to hunting after you were injured?
uh, it was 38 years ago, so the internet was just a baby. No information out there on adaptive hunting, nothing like that. Nobody around me. I was the only person in a wheelchair in my small town. So it was up to me to figure it out. I mean,
Yeah.
me and my dad are my friends, but it was mainly me. They helped, but it was the invention process. I spent that first, I got home on Halloween, like 3 months in rehab back then. You didn't go back for any other sessions. So I asked my mom and dad, I was like, hey, can I just postpone my senior year of high school? Because I was in between junior and senior year. And they were like, yeah, why not? My mom taught, so she knew it wasn't that big a deal. I was just going to
Hmm.
be a year older. I, and I'd had friends in the class below me, so it wasn't going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
So I get it was my dad and I actually went deer hunting. The only dove season I ever missed was that year. So we tried to go deer hunt. We failed. you know, I had I had a little device that I left the hospital with. It was from OT. It's called a wanchik. It was for writing. You put it on your hand and you stuck a pen or pencil in there. And I was like, you know what? I think I can pull the trigger with that. And I could, but it wasn't any good because the metal was on the inside, and you need your finger to feel the trigger to really be able to shoot correctly. But I didn't know that. I tried to shoot a deer and I missed, which was like one of the low points of my life. But it sparked so much
Hmm.
of the invention process that now whenever we go out and fail at something, I'm like, I kind of get excited
Yeah.
because I know it's going to keep me up at night, and I'm going to be figuring it. It's just more of a challenge to figure out. You know, okay, a lot of things are a process. Sometimes they take a year or two to get there, and and that you know, I figured out, okay, how am I going to take this, make it work? So I've just kind of bent it out backwards so that metal part was on the back of my finger, and we used like this little. I ripped off this little leather pad that you actually put on hunting dogs to protect their feet. I put that over it, and we would tie it like with a shoelace, and use cloth tape to tape my finger to the metal part, and it worked. It was the next year before it worked, but it worked. So the following season, I killed my first deer. My dad had made an accessible deer blind for me by then, and so we moved on to wing shooting, which was really tough. That was my first love, because my dad's first love was duck and dove hunting. So obviously, he indoctrinated me into that too. But as a quad, it's super tough because, if you hold your hands up and hold a gun, you're going to fall on your face. So you need a chest strap. We started with a real rudimentary one that somebody in town sewed, with Velcro on the front, but it worked.
Yeah.
It worked. Not
Yeah.
well. I mean, not perfect, but it was just good to get. I knew when I killed my first bird in the air, which was a dove. I was like, oh, it was like being able to exhale. It's like,
What
okay,
kind of chest strap do you use now?
well, I have we make like a metal brace now that fits on the handles,
Mm-hmm.
and so we discovered over time that the higher up, you want your straps to be high up on your chest, and the first ones were a little low down, so it was not as good. So we have a metal brace that we make. A friend of mine, I'll tell you about where people can find that, because we make them for people now. A buddy of mine that I mentored in rehab 10 years ago, he's now one of them out, and he's a mentor, and he was a welder. So he and I get together on producing stuff.
Oh, I'm
We
sure.
we make those trigger pullers. We 3D print them out of carbon fiber, and
Oh,
we make chest straps and any other
nice.
kind of
Carbon
adaptive
fiber.
equipment.
Yes. Where
Yeah.
can people, so are you selling these things?
Yeah, we sell those. It's on his site. It's called intuitoutdoors.com, I think. It's like
Okay.
the letter N and then the number 2 and IT outdoors. So if that's not the exact site, just Google Intuit Outdoors and
Yeah.
you'll find Justin Gordy.
Yeah. I mean, that's such a great idea for adaptive equipment. So yeah, that's definitely a fantastic resource. Man, Chad, you have such a plethora of experience. It's so great and incredible how long you've been doing this and your wealth of knowledge, both before your accident and after the accident, and failing up. I mean, I love that first story where it's just like, oh, you hit that first hurdle and you're just like, oh, I can't do this. And then something inside of you is just like, oh, let's just try. Let's just keep going. Let's just keep at it. And then you just figure it out. And then it just starts a fire. And then the next barrier that comes up, it's not so bad. You're like, okay, how am I going to figure out this one? It's kind of exciting. It's a little bit almost like an adventure, a little bit.
Once you figure out that failing isn't the end of the world and you can keep going and figure it out, then there's nothing that you can come up against that you can't figure out
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah. So what are some of the biggest challenges that you have faced starting hunting? I mean, you're talking about balancing and of course, like shooting the trigger. Is there anything else that comes to mind?
So, like I said, the wing shooting is the toughest. That's the toughest for, when we're trying to help somebody else get out and they're a higher break than me and have less strength. It, that, there's some other rigs that we make. We make one called a zero gravity rig. That's not for sale. We just kind of make that for people and let them use it.
Mm-hmm.
But shooting that is the toughest thing there is to do. And
Okay.
I tell them that going in, I was like, if you can do this, you can do anything else in hunting if you can do this, and it's true. So I mean, sometimes it takes a lot of practice, more practice than I had to take. I'm very lucky at C7. I'm very lucky.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
getting
Well,
out there, you would think getting out there to some places they can be difficult, but not really, because there's so many cool devices now. I mean, we hunt mule deer in the mountains. We just get in a Jeep or a truck, or You know, that they make these awesome little adaptive mountain bikes that are electric that'll go almost anywhere.
Yeah.
The latest one is Outrider USA Coyote. That is a badass machine that I'm gonna it that one's expensive. You know, there's some manual ones like the mountain trike, and I don't want to say that grit freedom chair because it's kind of a cheaply made version of a chair, but
Yeah.
it helps you get out. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely, I mean, it's help. It's better than nothing, I guess. But yeah, if you have
it's
some
good.
electric, I mean, electric mountain bikes, oh man, that's a game changer, like for
Oh,
sure.
but it's good to start cheap when you're just starting out. You know, start with something that's not too expensive, and it'll just light the fire. You're like, okay, I can still do it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and if it's something I want to get more into, then we'll spend some more money and figure it out as we go.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me more about your foundation, Able Outdoors. What was your inspiration behind it? And I mean, what's its mission?
Well, we started, I started mentoring at Tier Hospital, which is the rehab here in Houston. And so I was seeing people that wanted to get out, but they didn't really have a means or anything. So we just started taking them. We started a little uh, teal hunt in September. We have an early teal season, which is a small duck. I mean, it's a cool little hunt. We still do it today. We did like year 26 or 27 in September this month.
Nice.
And so that was really the probably the fuel that started, I just want to do that on a larger scale, we way back, like I said, when the internet was young, I built a site where I had to copy the code from other sites and paste it on mine and write my own stories. And back then I hated writing, I hated English in high school,
Yeah.
but I was so interested in the subject that it really was kind of cool. I would write about what I was doing and what other people were doing whenever I found someone that did some kind of amazing trip. I was like, people need to hear this.
Yeah.
So our motto is just to help people get back out after injury, and some people get back out right away. Who if I find you early, then then we can do it.
Yeah.
Some people we just had a lady from Louisiana come on our teal hunt. She hadn't hunted in 29 years since she'd been injured, and she actually used that zero gravity rig, super tough, killed her first duck, and now she went home, bought a rifle, and she's going on a deer hunt next week in Louisiana. And her husband was like, "Yeah, you created a monster now. Now I'm gonna have to take her out hunting all the time."
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh,
So that,
yeah,
in a
yeah,
nutshell, is why we're doing Able Outdoors. It just the more people I can reach, the more people we can help getting out.
yeah, definitely. So what other kind of like equipment would can you recommend to people, who want to do adaptive hunting?
I usually set people up like with especially if they're going to be shooting rifle with like this. There's a final rest.
Hmm.
It's a really good steady rest, and you can actually hook it to your wheelchair arm. It's really easy to adapt to a chair if you find somebody that can work with metal, and it's kind of rock solid. It's a great one to start out with because it's only like $150. I recommend that one to a lot of people to start. And then if you want to do wing shooting and you need a zero gravity rig, then you got to get with me because every disability is different. You know that, and
Yep.
some people have to tweak it to what works for them. You just kind of give them something that gets them close. I tell people I give people the tools and then I kick them out of the nest.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, everybody's gonna have like their own little bit different style too, you know.
yeah, yeah.
People are left-handed, right-handed, there's all different. things. So
again,
yeah, you just find your way. Of course, safety first, but yeah, find your way.
I love the challenge of all that. And, some people are in other states though, so they can't really show up at my house. I either show them what they're gonna need, and then I try to find somebody nearby them or a group organizations that's doing something
Yeah.
that they can hook up with that I know will help them get out. I, I've been lucky to go on a lot of different hunts like that, different events in other states, mainly to meet people with other disabilities that are,
Yeah.
just to see the way they figure it out, the equipment they use. Because sometimes I steal that info, and sometimes I share what I know with them. It's always a good back and forth.
Yeah.
And then
Sharing.
yeah, you know then I get to recommend some of the good hunts that I know there's good people there and they're going to take care of them. And it's easier to recommend that. Just kind of the same thing you do. You go and check things out so you can
Mhm.
recommend it to people
Yeah,
and
definitely.
where to go and what to do.
Yeah. So have you been to hunting in every state then?
No, but that would be it. Not every state has a lot of good hunting, but
True that.
I think I've been in about 12 or 13 different ones.
Hmm.
Out west is really cool. I love New Mexico and Colorado, Wyoming, Montana.
Yeah.
Anytime you get Utah, I've hunted out there. I've been lucky to be able to go do stuff. So
Yeah.
I've had a
And I know
good
you've been
support
hunting in other places around the world too. So let's how many, talk about some of the cool places you've been hunting around the world.
Yeah, I was lucky. We went to South Africa, and then they sent me to Namibia when I got Safari Club chose me as their Pathfinder Award winner.
Hmm.
So we went to Namibia. We've been wing shooting in Argentina, bear hunting in Manitoba and Alberta, way in the northern parts of Manitoba where the roads ended, which was super cool. We got to see the Aurora Borealis up
Oh,
there.
cool. Yeah.
Not huge, but we saw a little bit of it. I definitely want to go back and see that again.
Yeah, like the peak time. Wait, so yeah, getting back to hunting. So what advice would you have for somebody, brand new, just, starting out, like where would they start? Besides, obviously contacting you.
You broke up a little bit. What info I would have for people?
Oh, I said, what advice do you have for somebody brand new, to hunting, a new spinal cord injury or a new person in a wheelchair with a disability
I
interested
got
in hunting?
I got great advice. Just get out there. Just
Yeah,
no
just do
no
it.
matter what, even if you're not sure, because we take people that are fresh out of the rehab sometimes, and I'm like, they have no idea how they're gonna do it. And sometimes I don't know how they're gonna do it. I'm like, just come and go out with us and
Yeah,
be out there and try it.
yeah,
It's probably not gonna work, but you'll you'll learn weight from that. And it a lot of times, that you love nature like me. It's just good to be out there,
definitely.
back doing what you love. The outdoors, the outdoors didn't change when I got hurt. Only how I have to adapt a little bit to be out there, which is, it really isn't that much. Once you figure it out, it's the same game. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, you just gotta adapt and figure it out, just like everybody else does in various ways, no matter what, as human beings. So can you share a particular memorable or rewarding hunting experience that you've been on with either with your foundation or, just
Oh
from
my
your
gosh.
past?
We just had, yeah, we had a blind guy come. I've had two blind guys come and duck hunt with us, and they both shot ducks in the air, which was incredible. And I've even
Yeah.
seen it with my own eyes, and I'm like,
Oh,
how does that happen? We made it happen. I mean, we worked to get it there, but it's still like, I don't know how that
Yeah.
happens.
How is that
God
even
had to,
possible? But yeah, it's incredible.
it had to be divine intervention. And, and, I would say that elk hunt that we filmed where we took my friend Lynette, it was like her first hunt in the mountains and her first time on an outrider. And
Mhm.
she was way outside of her comfort zone. And she had been injured a long time too before she got to do something like that. I sought her out I was at a banquet and I met her and I was like, hey, you want to go elk hunting someday? And she was just like, oh, like, please, God, yes. So that whole thing, it's just something special about being
Yeah.
able to do a hunt like that when you have no idea
Yeah.
that you could even pull something like that off.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's just like creating magic for somebody like here's a brand new world.
and people that are going to be watching that, there's going to be somebody out there is like, I didn't think I could do that, but now I want to go. If
Yeah.
she can do it, I can.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So Chad, how important is community support in adaptive hunting?
It, I mean, if you're talking support system, I mean, that is the main thing to survive spinal cord injury, period, especially as a quad, because you need a little bit more help. You know, I was lucky because I had friends and family, and they all had the attitude of whatever you need, wherever you want to go, we'll
Yeah.
get you there.
Yeah.
You know, and I've seen people that don't have that at all, and I've seen people who have one person. As long as you have one person that's with you, and like, we'll go do it. Whatever it takes, we'll do it. That's all you need. But you should always work on making that support system larger and larger and larger. And that I still do it today. I try to increase it because you never know if you have one person, you never know when you might lose them.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
and they can't go everywhere. They may have their own life someday,
Yeah.
and can't
What
go as much as I want to go.
um what about a hunting dog support system?
Yeah, we got to bring up my hunting dogs. uh, because I got my first pup actually the year before I got hurt, and I kind of half-ass trained her myself. I didn't know what I was doing. I was 16, and then after I got injured, we did, for a year we weren't going, and I felt bad. I gave her away to a hunting guide that lived in my town, so she could go live the life that she needed to live,
Mhm.
which was good. I don't regret that at all. But I've had dogs after that I kind of trained myself, and they were okay. But this last one, my super dog, I I had her professionally trained, which means at 6 months old they go to the trainer for 6 months, and if it's a good trainer, they're ready to rock and roll at six
Yeah.
months. And so the very first day that I left her there, and I watched him work his other dogs, I was like, you know what? My trainer's name is Vince. I was like, Vince, I don't know squat about training dogs. It's what I discovered today, because there's so much knowledge and experience that goes into that, and there's
Yeah.
a lot you have to do physically that would be very difficult for a quad to do. And so after 3 months, he wants him for 3 months by himself because they have to bond with the trainer, which
Yeah.
makes total sense. So after that, I get to go and work with my dog with him, and he teaches me how to run my dog properly so I don't screw her up
Yeah. Yeah.
after he
Yeah.
trains her.
Yeah. Good.
And
Very cool.
all the trainers are in the hunt test, because which is okay, there's two types. There's AKC, American Kennel Club, UKC is United Kennel Club, and they have little hunt tests throughout the year that you go, if your dog's capable, you go run them in this, and if they pass a certain amount of times, they get hunt titles,
Okay.
which means you have a really good dog. If you get it's like I had a puppy and I ran him and started. So there's like 3 levels for each hunt test. And Vince, one day I was working with Vince over there. He's like, you know what? I've been going to hunt tests for 30 years, never seen anyone in a wheelchair. I was like, well, we got to do it. So
Heck yeah.
he had to teach me how to do it because there's a lot of things that you can and can't do,
Yeah.
get disqualified. And I started going and watching, and I got hooked on that. It's so cool to go watch other dogs work and
Yeah.
work your own dog. You
Yeah.
know, sometimes you pass, sometimes they fail, just the way it is. It's just so that dog, she she's so good, now I get to guide other people because she's like my legs. She's like me if I could go out and get the ducks for people.
Yep.
So I tell people, someone, you're lucky you're with the only quad guide in America today. And I think I was the only one to handle their dog, the only quad to handle their dog in a hunt test, as far as I know.
Yeah.
So she was super chill. I had her certified afterwards to be my therapy slash mobility service dog, so I can take her to the rehabs because they like to
What's her
see my
name?
truck. Vegas. They like to see my truck, and now they want to see Vegas, and I got demoted to number 3 on the totem pole.
Of
But it's
course.
great. Life is just better with
Yeah.
good dogs because
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
really force me to get out every day and work them or walk them, especially when I don't feel like getting up and getting out and going.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
So
definitely.
when they're sitting there staring at you in the morning, you're like, all right, I got to get my lazy ass out of bed.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I have a dog too, and yeah, I love him dearly. They're the best. So besides pups, how can able-bodied people get involved and help support, disabled hunters?
I would, I would say find somebody on a locally nearby. Um, I know Wheeling Sportsman, which is an offshoot of Wild Turkey Federation. They have groups in almost every state. That'd be a good one to volunteer for. Buckmasters has some opportunities. I don't know how many states they're in. They used to do more. I think they have a American Deer Foundation. There's all I get people call me sometimes. They're like, we want to just come help on your teal hunt, and I feel bad because my teal hunt's kind of small, so I really don't need that many volunteers. But
Okay.
I usually send them, I send them to somebody because there's about 6, 7 groups around me. I'm like,
Mhm.
here, get with these people, get with these people. Just find somebody local. And some people just have land. They're like, they'll donate it. I'm actually talked to a guy today. We're taking a lady deer hunting out in Junction, Texas. I'm waiting to talk to her after we get off to finalize plans for that. It's just somebody that knows me, and they're like, you know what, we want to take somebody hunting. We'll set up an accessible blind and lodge, and we can do it. So
Yeah,
there's so
love
many
it.
different ways to do it.
Yeah, excellent. So what are your future goals for Able Outdoors, and how do you see the adaptive hunting community evolving?
Oh gosh. Well, we just got on Carbon TV this fall. So everybody go watch us on there. It's free. It's a free streaming service. I think you can find it on every smart TV, or you can get the app on your phone. You know, the bigger I get, the more people I can reach, the more people I can help. And, and we get to tell other people's stories with all our Able Outdoors hunts, it kind of morphed into that really quickly.
Yeah,
I've always wanted to take someone besides me and my co-host, somebody with a different disability every time we go out. 'Cause that way we can show how, we get to tell their story and show how they're going to adapt, the
heck
hurdles
yeah.
they're going to overcome, I love being able to do that. Someday I'm going to get to star in my own show, I hope. But
Well, you already are, and it's just gonna, I feel like it's already gonna get bigger. I mean,
yeah,
what you what you've done with that show is just beautiful. I mean, the cinematography and everything, I mean, all the notes are there, so that it just needs to have, more funding and more stories. Cause I mean, the platform and the idea is 100% there. It's really, really well done.
Well, thank you. Thanks. I love it. We found a good guy. Ashley found him. He's a young
Not
guy
me,
from
Ashley, but
Oregon.
his
A
hunting
different
partner,
Ashley.
Ashley.
A different Ashley. She 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 knew him up there because she was a little bit more in the actual outdoor TV industry. She knew more people there. She was connected. I'm more of the I'm more of the low profile. I'm the hunter fisherman, and I help
Yeah,
people get out a little more anonymously. But so that's why I wanted to pair with her so we could
yeah,
join our superpowers.
yeah. Take it to the next level. Yeah, take it to the next level, expand. I mean, it's such a great program and just such just absolutely beautifully well done.
Some dreams are 30 years away, Ashley, and you got to work towards them inch by inch.
Yeah, I mean that's what we have to do. That's what we have to do. That's how we get there. And you've been working at this, and all of a sudden, I mean, I just see it completely blossoming. There's all these things that are happening.
Yeah.
So there's more great things coming for you.
Well, every everybody thinks I'm doing all this stuff, but I tell them I'm like, you know what? I went through periods where I was in pain for days, weeks, months, and sometimes you have to lay in bed for a long time. It's not all tiptoeing through the garden. Like
Yeah.
it,
But
it's
but in those times, I mean, you're thinking of ideas, and resting so you are like ready to go. I mean,
yeah,
something that I've learned, yeah, you just need to be patient. Things happen when they're kind of supposed to happen. As much as you want to push sometimes you just have to, push as much as you can and then just wait.
sometimes you just have to exist and persist until
Yeah.
it gets better enough, then you can keep going again.
Yeah, exist and persist. I like that. Is there any more like resources? I mean, of course, you're all over, like, you have your social media, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. If people want to contact you, Able Outdoors, but are there any other resources that you would want to, share with anybody?
Yeah, definitely. Well, most people find me on Facebook and Instagram, probably on Facebook and our site. I mean, we're at ableoutdoors.net. There, let me give you a shout out to some of the cool organizations that I know. First there's Wyoming Disabled Hunters. They do great work up there in Wyoming. Ashley used to be on the board. The other Ashley,
Yep.
blonde Ashley. Uh, there's a group called UFTA in Minnesota, which is Disabled Archers. I actually got my start there bow hunting 20 plus years ago. Great people. They put together an awesome event every year. Um, in New Mexico, a friend of mine, Dustin Berg, he I think he's the only organization in New Mexico. He helps with hunting, fishing. They do mountain biking. He's like a year round guy. He does all kind of cool stuff. Um, there's a guy. Well, there's a group, Disabled Outdoorsman USA Utah.
Hmm.
They do awesome stuff, and I've been trying to put in with them. Hopefully, I'm going to draw a tag pretty soon so I can go hunt with them. I definitely want to film a show out there with those guys.
Definitely.
And then, fishing. You need to go with this guy. His named Jesse Alberry. He has a group called Access Unlimited. He's in Dillon, Montana, and he has wheelchair accessible drift boats. So they go fly
Oh,
fishing on the rivers there. Super cool. And they take people, I don't know if they do year round. The summertime is there, when it's hot for me, they take people out fishing up there. I want to go up there and film a show with him too. I got all these big ideas.
that's incredible. Yeah, no, that sounds so cool. Yeah, I would love to do that. And I'm actually planning a trip coming up soon to come down to Texas and go hunting with you for the first time. So definitely excited to
We're
try it out.
ready
You've been
for you.
trying to get me out there for years, so
We're
it's
ready.
happening.
We might film that. I'm working on it.
Oh my gosh.
So
Yeah, that'd be a blast.
you can't back out on me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have a good story about, you know, getting all signed up for everything and going through like the safety stuff, but that's too long of a story to tell on this, but,
We'll make it happen.
yeah, no, it's going to be great. Yeah, I'm excited. Thank you, Chad, for all of your knowledge, your resources, your dedication to the outdoors, and of course, you know, our community, you know, getting people out there, you know, encouraging them, giving them new life, you know, encouragement, which is, I think, you know, the biggest part of all of this. So
My
again, yeah, thanks for
pleasure.
your time. This is again Ashley Olson from wheelchairtraveling.com. Keep traveling and make your world a better place. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Ashley.